Hey everyone, it's Joe here from Living to Learn. Thanks for pressing that button and sharing some of your time with me to go through my new EDC kit. Bill Bluss, the guy from Grey Wolf Survival, lovely gentleman, big shout out repping the Grey Wolf, called me out a while back and asked me to show off my EDC carry, because we would be both kind of the survivalist mindset. But at the time I was going through a bit of an EDC renaissance and I'd be changing professions and stuff, and I used to carry my EDC in this poor beat up whole thing. She's seen some stuff, but a great bag, and was amalgamating. I'm spending a lot more time in the forest than what my career used to keep me at, so I've been trying to make a kit that would do the both. I can throw in the car, I can bring to the forest with me, or would do if I was out on the job. And this was inspired by a great man called Gary Doyle. Gary Doyle is an amazing outdoorsman, and he has his own YouTube channel. It's Garcia Doyle, Garcia Doyle. He's a great guy to watch and a wealth of knowledge, and he's working on a new YouTube series at the moment, and I really look forward to it. Like, he's a Randall Burns in a world of Cody Lundins. He's a great guy, and I had the pleasure of meeting Gary at a camp, and he had this canteen set up, this really cool canteen set up with his knife slung across the front of it and stuff like that. And judging from the pictures, because he's a very active member in the Living to Learn community, that this canteen set goes everywhere with him on day hikes and overnighters and stuff, and he's become very proficient in it. And I said to myself, that's the ticket right there, to work on something like that I could have all over the place. So shout out to Gary, this was inspired by his one. Now, with all EDC kits, you should tailor make it to what you and your skill set will allow. Don't try and build an EDC kit or a forest kit based on what somebody else has. Assess your knowledge and what you like to do and what you need, and build your kit accordingly. You might need more fire starting implements than me. I might need more water purification implements than you, but we'll delve in and we'll see. Now, if I'm going to the forest, I would have my belt carry. This is the Brock Horseman. It's a fantastic knife, so that would be with me. Or a more suitable day hike knife if I was only going off for a few hours to do a bit of crafting. It's my stay classy kit. But straight on the outside anyway, I have a Leatherman. I was never a fan of multi-tools until Shane Phelan, great guy from Eagle Ridge Survival, popped up and showed me the real advantages to be carrying one of these, especially in a woodland bushcraft scenario. At the time, my skill set wasn't up to par with bow drills and primitive fire making. I now have gained a real interest in it, and having a little saw, it's also a great fire striker, and a decent backup blade and a pliers have now become a part of my itinerary for carrying around. So that's the Leatherman Super Tool 300. Fantastic, but a heavy bit of kit. I have other Leathermans, but I like the tools set up on this. I may remove some and replace them with washers to reduce weight further down the road. Then in the front pouch, which I have stuffed here, I have some first aid items, some food items and stuff like that. I have to be very gingerly with it because it is stuffed to the gills. But straight off the bat, I have about 20 feet of bank line. Now, this is probably my most used thing in my EDC bag. I use it for tying up stuff, and my son would burst a shoelace, or cordage is cordage, but it's one of the things I use the most. And ever since I copped that I do use a lot of cordage this time last year, I've built my skill set up to not rely on it. Now, I say, like, you can never recreate a shoelace when you're on the beach with your son, but at the same time, I've learned to build tripods, shelters, and being able to sling up ridge lines using various knots that I don't have to cut this. And I have to say, most times I go out to the woods, 9 times out of 10 I come back with the same amount of cordage that I left with. Next off the top, which is part of my cooking kit, this is the Van Gogh mini stove. It's a little mini titanium stove. I took a punt on this and I really like it. It's very well priced for being a titanium stove. Most of these can run around €60 plus. This one can be found for about 30 quid, 35 quid. It's a very small, compact package, and it's never let me down. I use this 2 or 3 times a week out in the woods on day hikes, and I also use it on my longer camps and stuff, and it kicks out some good BPUs in that unit there. It's a very compact package. It takes minimal maintenance. Next out on the side here would be part of my first aid kit. It's triple antibiotic and pain relief ointment. This stuff is fantastic. It can be very hard to find, especially in Europe. But if you can lay your hands on some, I recommend it. Not only does it have antibiotic cream in it, but it also has pain relieving ointment. And if you cut yourself outdoors, especially when using your tools, whether it be your knife and stuff, just because of the nature of these tools, you're nearly almost guaranteed to get some sort of infection, be it a mild one or a serious one. And ever since I've started using these, I have never had a problem, and it takes care of stuff lickety split. I carry an iPad, not your fancy technical one, but a trick that was shown to me by a first aider was the adaptability of these. I don't carry plasters because plasters restrict you to individual sizes, and if you carry a plaster, it's very hard to make an iPad out of it. So an iPad can be used for an awful lot of this, like a little mini absorbent bandage. And to counteract that problem, I carry some Miapor, which is probably buried down the bottom of here. But next, and most bulkily obvious, is an MRE, a very underrated piece of kit. It's good for a long time. I don't have to worry about it swapping it in and out, although I do eat an awful lot of MREs on day hikes and stuff like that, just because they're fast and easy, and I like to practice with the kit that I carry. This is an all-day breakfast, and it can be eaten cold or eaten warm. You don't need a fire, just some warm water and stuff like that. It's always nice to have food options that don't require much water or a fire, because it's not always a viable way of doing it. Some baby wipes. I know the gram Nazis will be on to me for not carrying tissue paper, that these are kind of too heavy and stuff like that, but it's more of a luxury item. When things go bad or when people are in hairy situations, you often overlook the simple things, and the simple things can make a bad situation that little bit more tolerable. So I carry baby wipes. And again, I do be out with my sons. I have two sons, a very young guy, he's only 9 months, and an older guy who's 6. And trust me, between the cordage and these, I cut through it like there's no tomorrow. I carry a fish mouth spreaders for my canteen set in the bag, and I also carry one of these, as I like multi-use options. If I can find more than one use for an item, that's it. This is a waterproof fire steel, because water can corrode them. Sometimes I could be out in the rain and it gets in and I forget, and long story short, it's not the best of fire steels. It's quite a hard fire steel to scratch, but it does work. It is a decent one. It's the Pathfinder one. But the main reason why I like to carry this is because it allows me to carry surefire. I always believe that no matter how good a woodsman you are or an outdoor person you may be, having some surefire is always good. These are not the Pathfinder ones, these are Zippo ones, and they're fantastic. You get a good burn time out of them. You can see on my main expedition rig that I carry some live fire in that too. That is the Live Fire XL. Just because I believe in having that there. It's fun to practice and train and own the skills of primitive firecraft, but there's just sometimes I can legitimately not be bothered to light a fire and build stuff up like that. So that is that one. And good one. Good purpose all around, and it can be put onto various other packages. It's very adaptable. I have some snare wire. Again, it's a small package. There's about 10 feet of it here, and it allows me to do various things with cordage. I don't snare animals and stuff like that. In the main compartment, you have my morale patch on the front. Sent me, it was the very first morale patch I ever got. Sent me with this by John Bishop. But in the lid of it, let me get a shot of it there for you. I keep my Pathfinder cup. It fits perfectly up there and adds a bit of robustness to the lid. Second and most obvious thing out of the top is my MSR gas. And what I like about this is they've made some new improvements where it shows you how to gauge it. I've done a video of my lunch kit before where I carried a non-branded bottle of gas, and I was telling people how to use these graduated measurements, and it tells you here. I think it's a great addition. MSR, good job. But these are cheap. They're actually cheaper than Trangia fuel. I used to carry Trangia, but I'd have the Trangia burner up here, and all of this pocket would be taken up by spare fuel. So for this kit, I've since switched to gas. I'll show you the package there as it combines together, and this weighs fairly little. So there you go. It's a nice tidy little package. I mean, if you compare it to the size of your hand, and you will get 2 days of just boiling water and preparing meals. No problem out of this. If you haven't got a fire, or if you're just using it to boil water, I've stretched them out to 4 days, 5 days, just heating up a cup, because they do it fairly quick. Like I said, the BPUs out of this unit is really, really good. I have a Kapilka spoon. I like the Kapilka stuff because it's robust. Yes, it's not fire friendly, but it's robust and it's light. And what I like about them is they're full sized. Unlike most people would maybe prefer to carry the light my fire stuff, which is fine, I do too. This is my titanium one, but it's an awkward shape, and when you're needing to cut things and stuff, it's just, these are just so much cleaner, and they're straight. Whoop. So that allows me, and it allows most people who use nesting kits, to store all my cutlery in and around the edge, and especially the Kapulka stuff, it's nice, it straightens the canteen pouch out, and you can get your knife, your fork, your baby spoon. And the best part is they're only about €11 for the set. So that is the next one there. And then out comes my canteen, bottle and cup. This is the Pathfinder one. I've used this for 4 or 5 years now. She's been beat up. This burning is only new as I accidentally left it in the fire for way too long. Trying to clean some pine pitch out of it. I was making some pine pitch in it. But I'm trying to swap this out now for the Tokes 550mm titanium one. I'm just going to give that a run and see how it goes, because I find that the Pathfinder cup, although great, the handles and that are a bit lacking, and these holes for the fish mouth spreaders can be a bit of a pain. But other than that, a fantastic setup. We get a shot of that there for you. There you go. It allows me to boil water and any other accoutrements. Here's how it works with the MRE. I would fill to about 50% of the way, shake my MRE out, in she goes, onto the gas. Job's a good one. And I got a litre of water here. That requires only, where's the measurements? 500, less than 400 mils of water, which still gives me 400 mils of potable drinking water, and you can use the boiled water to make a cup of tea or whatever else from the MRE sitting in it. And that is it. There you go, Bill. I hope my Gary Doyle inspired outdoors single kit is up to par. But this is what I've been using now the past couple of weeks, and I really, really enjoy it. It's nice to drop all that extra kit and just be able to grab your knife, grab your little bag and go, and also be able to adapt it to other situations. So thanks very much for watching. If you want to make your own videos, there's plenty of YouTubers out there on the Living to Learn community, Aidan Parry and Rodney Fontaine and everybody else. I mean, if you want to make an EDC kit similar to this, I'd love to see your take on it. And as always, Joe from Living to Learn, out.